Hi, everybody. How are you? Hope everybody's good. This week, I'm going to borrow some words from some of my teachers, uh, initially from my Tibetan teacher, Tulku Thondup, and his book, Enlightened Journey, and the words of one of my Vedic teachers, whose name is Anand Mitra. Um, so the beginning quote is this: "When your mind is not disturbed, your energy will not be disturbed, and thereby other elements of the body will also not be disturbed. Because of this, your mind will not be disturbed, and so the wheel of joy will keep revolving." And that is from the third Dundrupchen Rinpoche. And what this ultimately is about is our perception of what we conceive as reality and the relative aspects of that perception. There are two important ways to transmute daily life into training. First, if you have realized the wisdom that transcends mental conceptions, or even if you have not yet transcended mental conceptions, but have powerful spiritual experiences such as compassion, devotion, or contemplation, then you can unite or transform all appearances and experiences into a support for the energy of realized wisdom and spiritual experience. For great adepts, every phenomenal appearance becomes the expression of their inner wisdom itself. All appearances become the power of realization, like the rays of the sun that coax the flowers of happiness to blossom in the hearts of those around. Second, for ordinary people like ourselves, whose minds are conceptual, emotional, and unrealized, it is essential to rely on any skillful means, positive and spiritual images, signs, sounds, or sources of power, as a means of generating spiritual energy. If we could see the objects that surround us as a source of inspiration and peace, they will generate peace and joy within us because of the power of our own mental perceptions. In the same vein, we cannot transform negative situations into positive ones if we see them as negative and react to them with negative emotions. As long as we hold on to negative perceptions, viewing our circumstances through dark shades, then the whole world will appear negative, and all of our efforts to be one never-ending struggle. So we should lay the foundation for true peace and joy in our own minds by developing a skillful means of spiritual training, not by struggling to ward off adversity. As Shantideva explains, foes are as unlimited as space. They cannot all possibly be overcome. Yet if you just overcome the thought of hatred, that will be equal to overcoming all foes. Where is the leather with which we can cover the earth? But wearing a leather sandal is equal to covering the earth with leather. Now, what I just read you was Tulku Thondup's words. The next is kind of my take on that. This quote's one of my favorites because it cuts to the root of mental afflictions. Negative experience is never in short supply. There will always be bad things that happen, and we will always experience suffering. It is our mental perception which regulates the quality of our life experience. We cannot change everything in the world or overcome all foes, but we can completely change our perception of life experiences. This is like wearing the sandal. It is simply not possible to cover the earth with leather. This would be like trying to get the universe to behave as we like, but we can certainly alter our view of external events. Just last week, a new teacher from the Vedic tradition who Joe and I met helped me with this very topic. Some years ago, I was diagnosed with a severe heart arrhythmia. Over the years, I've managed the condition with meditation, acupuncture, herbs, and some Western medication. However, it prevents me from doing the things that I really like to do. I can't sprint, run stairs, spar, hit pads. As you know, I'm a martial artist, anywhere nearly as vigorously as I prefer. I can't lift heavy weights. I've always viewed this as a problem to be solved. It has been something that's wrong with me. Last week, my new teacher, Anand, shared a pivotal teaching with me, which is practically identical to the lines from Shantideva. He told me of the koshas, reminded me of those, and recommended how to alter my perceptions. The most important part was to stop seeing my condition as wrong and to accept everything I do as perfectly right for this time in my life. When I completely accept these circumstances in my heart, then the heart will be ready for healing. The following is a synopsis of his teaching that was given to me last week. The Annamaya kosha is the physical body, food, environment of the body. This is the first level of fundamental experience in which we prepare ourselves and prepare by elevating our consciousness through aligning our bodies to the physical world. By cleansing our bodies of impurities and being healthy through physical practice, we prepare our minds for the higher koshas. The pranamaya kosha, energy, breath. What type of energy are you bringing into your body? Negative energy, the body closes. Positive energy, the body opens. Do you keep too many electronics around you? What do you do when you get up in the morning and when you go to bed? Is the first thing you do to look at a computer? Is the first thing that you do, or the last thing that you do, be on the computer? As the first thing that I used to do as a young man was to pick up a cigarette. And then the last thing I did before I went to bed was to smoke a cigarette. So no wonder things went askew in my body. Manamaya kosha, which is the mental aspects of the body. This is the body of belief, of thought, of emotion. What is your narrative? How are you speaking to your body? Do I believe that and think that my body is wrong? If so, then it is. Vijnanamaya kosha, wisdom. The body of wisdom pertains to worldview, how you view yourself fundamentally. Are you being yourself as a human body, trying to have an experience of the divine? Or are you fundamentally experiencing yourself as divine, having a human body? That is a spiritual being. You are that. How do you get there? You can't. It's not a location. You can never get there in time. It's not a process. You will never get there in time. You only get there in no time, because there doesn't exist. It's only here. Here can only exist in no time. When? Now. The moment you access for only 0.1 second this information, this understanding, then there's a shift in intelligence. Anantamaya kosha, bliss. That's where you connect. The body of bliss, existential love, existential fearlessness. Otherwise, it's existential fear. You're afraid of not being good enough, afraid of not experiencing that, afraid your heart will not be healthy. There's always fear. Stress is nothing but fear. So fundamental existence shall tell you you are here, and soon you will be not. So fundamental experience of life should call upon you, invoke you, command yourself to experience fundamental love, fundamental experience of life, existential bliss, existential gratefulness. Not as a mind thought, I am grateful. That's just an idea. But to have a visceral experience of gratefulness, awe. It fills, it does something different right at your heart, does it not? That's heart strength. And then on an organ tissue level, they will do something. And then perhaps they can do nothing. And then the last level is self. In Hinduism, it's called Atman. Atman is the true self, the center of consciousness, which was never born and never dies. It is the true self is an individual manifestation of Brahman, or God. Again, the truth of these teachings It completely overwhelms me. As I continue to study the wisdom traditions, my teachers, and my own sense of inner truth continually reminds me of how each path leads to the same end. And the end is another beginning. So my recognition is that I am exactly where I need to be right now because I'm here. And that's it. So with that, I will turn it back to Derek. And I hope you guys have a great week. And Carmen, I'm going to get some ice cream.